What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Life and Suffering of Sir Brante, episode number 14 with me, GamerKnoob. Let's get the show on the road. An urgent deal. It is late. You're preparing to go home when a priest with a long staff walks into the print shop. You recognize him immediately. He's the abbot of the temple at the Silver Tree, the face of the new faith in Anazon, Father Leonard. I must apologize for visiting you at so late an hour. Still, I'm glad you're here, noob. I am Father Leonard. You may have been to a sermon of mine, but I do not believe we have ever spoken in person. I've come to you regarding a rather delicate matter, but I have been made aware that your print shop often deals in matters such as these. I believe you know that Cassius, Magra's current patriarch, has not recognized the new faith. Our numbers are great, but the patriarch thinks we're just another heretical sect. My teacher, Patriarch Photis, was betrayed and murdered before he could have his doctrine recognized. The light of the new faith struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. But I am determined to make sure Photis' teachings get the same recognition and respect in Magra as the teachings of Asasius. 1 month from today is an important day for the new faith, the anniversary of Patriarch Photis' murder. I wish to gather my flock at the place of his true death to address Patriarch Cassius and demand recognition for our faith. As several thousand new believers gather in the city, the Patriarch will have no choice but to heed our call. But in order to bring all these people to Anazon, I need your help, Brante. I know you can not only print my appeal, but also distribute it throughout the province. In the city of Anazon, the new believers stand firmly united, but our brethren are isolated from one another in the rest of the province. I have no way of reaching them through the temples. The Inquisition and the priests of the Old Faith will never let my summons spread throughout Magra, but you can achieve what I cannot. I have written my appeal down for you. Please print it and see that my summons spreads to every corner of Magra. I want every Magran new believer to realize that it is now the time to stand up for our doctrine. I will summon them to the Silver Tree on the day of Photis' death. Patriarch Photis claims that the truth that revealed itself to Asasius is not the only way to serve the twins. The doctrine of the new faith frees its followers from the strict shackles of the lots and teaches them to seek their own path through the peak of the shining pillar. Commoners free from the lots, refusing to do nothing but work and suffer, lowly peasants claiming the right to rule and wage war, new believers ready to take up arms and fight for their faith. If they receive Father Leonard's summons, they will likely flock to the streets of Anazon. You glance over the handwritten page the abbot has given you. Brothers and sisters, you who have heard and received the word of Patriarch Photis as your new faith, have been summoned. Come to the place where our teacher's life was tragically cut short on the day of his demise. We will meet there in the shade of the Silver Tree to honor the memory of Patriarch Photis and complete his life's work. We will make ourselves heard by Patriarch Cassius. We will demand that the church recognize the new faith as equal to the teachings of Saint Asasius, and we will make camp in the city, and we will not leave until our demands are met. Father Leonard has a great following among the people. His summons could have significant repercussions in Anazon. What should you do? Well, we're definitely not going to contact the Inquisition. I don't care about the Inquisition. We're not going to report Leonard to Philippe because I don't want to do that. Take advantage of a sermon to recruit people to last straw. Tempting. But I don't really like the last straw. I'm just going to fulfill his request, I think. But I want to use one of the unlock. I like the unlock. I'm going to take advantage and recruit people. I like using the unlocks, okay? You will help Father Leonard, but only on one condition. The abbot must let your man address the new believers on that day. Leonard hesitates. He is clearly wary of your request, but he is also clearly out of options. Very well, you have my word, noob. All other orders are cancelled. Focus all your efforts on printing Father Leonard's summons. One of the leaflets are done. They are spread throughout the province by people you trust. New believers soon begin to leave small Magran towns and villages and head towards The city authorities soon take note of the pilgrims arriving in greater numbers every day. 1 week before Patriarch Photis' memorial, the Anazon shuts its gates, but thousands of new believers are already inside its walls. They're outraged. The gendarmes are forced to reopen the city. The prefecture, the Inquisition, the Legion, none of them are ready to contend with masses of new believers united by a common people. On the day of Patriarch Photis' death, Father Leonard prepares to address his flock with a sermon at the Silver Tree. But before he does so, however, he keeps his promise and lets your man Fuad have the first word. For several days you're preparing a speech for Fuad. Every word has been honed. No, not one is to be wasted. You pull up your hood and join the huge crowd that has answered the abbot's call. And now the elderly preacher comes out onto the steps of the temple. Fuad addresses the immense crowd with all of his might his voice can muster. The new faith has given them the chance to choose their own routes, despite the resistance of the old faith in the entire old world. Those who wish to follow their own paths will have to oppose the old ways. It cannot be helped. But they need not fear because they are not alone. The mob mutters, but it is clear that many of them are weighing Fuad's words. Someone shouts a question. If they choose this path, where should they go? And Fuad responds, the last straw will welcome them with open arms. You hear harsh shouts behind your back. The gendarmes use clubs to make their way through the crowd to the steps of the temple. You give Fuad a signal, time to run. The old preacher quickly disappears into the back streets of the temple district. Father Leonard starts a sermon, but the new believers, excited and confused by Fuad's speech, barely listen. The struggle against the patriarchs barely interests them now. Many of them have begun to dream of a new and better goal. The abbot's plan for Patriarch Fotis' memorial is ruined. The flock has assembled in the city, but the throng of new believers are not united. Some leave the city soon afterward. Others, however, linger in the streets. This mysterious last straw is the only thing the faithful are talking about. I remember all their faces and send them to Alita to make sure they share our goals. If she says they pass the muster, I speak to them myself, and then, let me tell you, friend, there are even priests among them. Unfortunately, the fact that your print shop was connected to the gathering of the new faith cannot be concealed for long. As a consequence, your family falls out of faith with the noble gentry, who all respect the teaching of Zivicius, but you pay no attention to the accusations. The identity of the strange rebellious preacher was never discovered after all. Leonard will never reveal your identity. Of that you can be certain. His intentions may be different from yours, but you know that he wants a revolt no less than you. Your words clearly hit home with him. We're still in the moderate position area. Our eloquence went up. Willpower is going down, 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 though, so we may need to have an event, hopefully, to restore some of our willpower. The Rebel. A year has passed since Stefan engaged you in his scheme to marry Gloria off, and yet you have no chance to influence your obstinate sister. Tempers are running high in your household. Gloria disappears for days at a time. She's often seen in the company of young commoners. Father constantly lectures Gloria, telling her that her friends are libertines and troublemakers. Connections like these will be her downfall. Your sister listens obediently, then vanishes again. Tonight, Stefan meets you by the door, looking distressed. Noob, been waiting for you for quite some time. Let's go to the Guardian and talk in private. It's about Gloria. You sit on a shady bench. A hot, dry wind is blowing. I was on my way to the ball at the El Liberius' mansion. I was already on their doorstep when a servant told me that he had been ordered to turn me away. They will not have anything to do with a family whose offspring is a member of a secret society. I am quite certain they meant Gloria, and these are not mere rumors. You know full well that she is capable of such a thing, and here was wondering where our little rebel spends all her time. We have to act, brother. Any delay and the damage to our family will be irreparable. We have to make Gloria stop these escapades and get married, by any means necessary. A secret society represents a tangible threat to our family. Father will see that and side with us, but still, I will not accuse Gloria without firm evidence. That would be dishonorable. My hope lies with you, Noob. You are admitted to the right circles, and Gloria still trusts you, though she fears and loathes me. The two of you played together as children so often. You should be able to strike the right tone with her. Find a way to tame Gloria and force her to get married. Remember, we are doing this for the House Brante as well for her own good. The hot wind scorches your face mercilessly. You are lost in thought. This is awkward because I really don't want Gloria to get killed because she's in a secret society. I might have to infiltrate it. I don't want to have Mother do it. Mother's sick and I don't like that. I don't want to reject the plan. I think I'm just gonna persuade her. She likes me. I'm just gonna persuade her. Stefan's words remind you of the time you caught Gloria reading poems in the ruins of the old fort of Shar Melanidas back when you were adolescents. Could it be that your sister hasn't relinquished her old habits and still keeps the same company? You decide to search the ruins. Amidst the piles of stone rubble, the memories come flooding back. This was a place where the children of the district used to play. It was also the site of a bloody battle with those ruffians who attacked Gloria. That was so long ago. Lost in thought, you all but run into Gloria. She's making her way among the remnants of the ancient gate, clutching a pile of pages to her chest. Noob, what are you doing here? You squint at your sister and remark that secret schemes are not her strong suit. It's time to have a talk about her escapades and the effect on the Brante family. It's come to your attention that your sister has joined a certain society. It's already the talk of the town. Has Gloria thought about what this could mean for the family that gave her shelter and a life of ease? Don't you dare accuse me of being uncaring, brother. I can't live in peace while that deceitful and unfair order oppresses everyone who isn't fortunate enough to be noble. I and only I am responsible for my actions before the world. I'm not even acknowledged as a member of this family. I don't even bear your name. You sigh and invite your sister to sit on a dilapidated section of the fort wall. You explain to Gloria that even though she doesn't bear the name of Brante, her fate is closely intertwined with that of the family that took her in. This isn't just about the family's reputation in the eyes of noble society. The twin gods themselves are watching over our every action. The consequences will befall not only the trespasser, but also everyone connected to them. I don't want to be a plaything of the twins. You know, I stopped believing in the lots long ago. I think the twin gods don't care a whit about that division. The strong came up with the whole thing just the weak to heal, to bring the weak to heels. The twins can still enact their will in this world however they like. You respond gently to your sister. Even if there are no lots, there are still the gods themselves. They know neither mercy nor forgiveness. The highest expression of their kindness is the order that Gloria detests so much. One can rebel against it, one can defy one's place in it all after all. The gods granted people that right, but one cannot deny that there will be a reckoning. Is Gloria prepared to pay the price, and force the rest of the family to do so? Mother? Sir Robert? Gloria's face falls. Wrapping her arms around herself, she stands up and heads home. You follow her. The conversation does not resume. At home, your sister locks herself in her bedroom. All night, you can hear her sobbing quietly. The next morning, when you are gathered around the table, your sister rises to her feet. Her face is still red and swollen after a tearful night. Noble Sirs Brante, I, Gloria, lowly daughter of Lady Lydia, hereby consent to becoming the wife of Sir Pelletier, and will no longer impose myself upon you. I am grateful to this house for everything I have received here. Do not wish to be a burden anymore and tarnish the Brante name. I don't deserve to be among you. Your father is horrified. Mother falls back into her chair in bewilderment. Stefan jumps to his feet. Gloria, you have mustered the strength to act valiantly. You are dear to our hearts, but we must part ways for the common good. Let us hear nothing more of shame. A family of the highest nobility and a happy husband awaits you. You'll be married to a nobleman of the sword. I will send a letter to Jose Pelletier at once. Gloria responds to Stefan with a wry smile and turns her gaze to you. You lower your head in compassion. Your sister has heeded your admonition. You know, she saw the best. I didn't tell her she had to go get betrothed, but I definitely told her that she should be out of the secret society. And she agreed, so. In the end, she agreed. Gloria is promised as a wife to the noble Sir Pelletier and will soon leave the house of Brante. I'll miss you, Gloria. I'll miss you. Year 1144. A banner year. Oh, profitable business. Cool. You enter the print shop in the morning and sit down at your desk to go over the books. The ledger is a mess. Your employees have made their entries sloppily and often in haste. It takes you a long time to make sense of it all. You spend an entire day comparing documents and analyzing numbers. In the evening, once everything is added up, you finally determine that the print shop's revenue has increased over the last year. It has usually been barely enough to keep the business running, but lately, book printing and other orders have been extremely lucrative. You walk home that night with several heavy coin purses hanging from your belt. Oh yeah, we're affluent. One more and we'll be a prosperous house. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. The Archduke relents. After many years, the simmering, unceasing hostilities between Overseer Gaius Tempest and Archduke Melanidas have finally come to an end. The Archduke has abandoned all attempts to collect additional taxes from the people. By my grace, I hereby release the common people of Magra from the Archduke's tax. All hail the dynasty of Melanidas, which has protected you since time immemorial. The farmers and merchants can finally heave a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly, the Archduke soon withdrew from all provincial affairs, sequestering himself in his ancestral castle of Serpenverda. The gentry who remained loyal to the Archduke are baffled. Has he accepted defeat at the hands of the Overseer? Or is this just an elaborate ruse? Either way, with the Archduke out of the picture, the senior gentry of Magra have lost some of their influence to the Overseer and his retinue of budding dynasties, and the nobles of the Mantle. The feud between the two Arknian rulers has ended, but the noble estate has been split nonetheless. The common people see this as yet another reason to demand change. Wealth is going up in Magra. I mean, we're not barren, that's good. And struggle for power still goes up. Trying to get commoners into power. A dangerous hall. Now that Archduke Melanidas has yielded his struggle for power, the city of Hanazon is joining a moment of respite. But your gut tells you to stay on guard. The powerful Arknian noble has relinquished some of his power, and someone will surely make an attempt to seize it. You tell your people to watch the city closely and report anything even slightly suspicious to you right away. At first they mistake your unease for unfounded paranoia, but your gut feeling soon proves to be true. Late one night, Alita barges into the print shop, clearly excited. Fuad's found something big, you've got to see this. She takes you to the north gate. Fuad is waiting for you in a dark street next to a sideboard crate. The old man lifts the heavy lid with a groan. Here, my friend, take a look. You take a step closer and freeze involuntarily. Alita manages a nervous chuckle. Fuad wipes a bead of sweat from his brow. Inside the crate are at least 24 gunpowder muskets along with bullet pouches full of lead balls. With a couple kegs of gunpowder, this would be enough to arm a full squad. You cannot help but recall the convicts' revolt in Illyria 3 years ago. Nowadays, anyone even suspected of owning a firearm similar to the guns they used is sent to the gallows at once. Where did Fuad find all this? The old man lifts a finger, eager to enlighten me. So I was doing my watch, just like you asked, in a nice little place by the gate, and then I see a loaded wagon with 3 sturdy fellows on it. They looked every bit like your ordinary workmen, except there's something funny about them. They kept whispering and fidgeting all odd-like, so I think maybe they're the last straw, right? I wanted to shush them, tell them to calm down, but the twins told me I better wait, and then bam! They get stopped by a patrol. The gendarmes kept asking them questions, but before you know it, they asked to see what's in the crate. Well, that was that. The youngsters were all over the gendarmes before I could blink, and they did a real number on them, I tell you what. The gendarmes barely managed to go cry out for help before they all got knocked out. Then the guys started bickering. They ended up dumping the crate down an alley and scattering. The gendarmes came too and stumbled after them. Everybody forgot about the crate. I thought I ought to see what all the fuss was about. When I saw what was in there, I dragged the crate off to the side and called for you right away. You give the packaging crate a closer look, and notice a trademark branded on the side. This is a crate from one of Mayor Egmont's mines. They usually contain silver. So Egmont is smuggling firearms into the city now, and men who know about it are being hunted by the prefecture. They will not be able to hide for long, and once they're finally caught, it will not be long before Philippe hears about these weapons. You stare at the guns, lost in thought. Where did Sir Egmont procure these weapons? Are there any more of them stashed throughout the city? You might not have all the answers, but you still have to do something. I'm taking the guns. I want the guns. I'm not going to tip off Mayor Egmont. I don't think he's going to help me as much. I'm taking the guns. We still have the gunpowder. The firearms are incredibly valuable. They ought to be put to good use. You tell Fuad to find a wagon of your own so you can hide the crate somewhere safe. And the gendarmes, they're patrolling the city. They'll be sure to search us if they see us. Let Alita take care of it. A few carefully orchestrated street brawls along your route ought to distract the gendarmes long enough for you to pass. Got it. A few hours later, you reach your safe house. You hide the crate of guns under some sackcloth in some cave where you keep the gunpowder. With weapons like these, your loyal men will be transformed into a powerful army. But for now, you have to keep them a secret. You return to the print shop at dawn, tired and aching after a sleepless night. Moss is waiting for you in your office when you arrive. Tired, Brante? Well, no rest for the wicked. Sir Philippe wants to meet you in the Archduke's garden in an hour. Don't be late. He ain't in the best of moods. Philippe seldom is if he ever meets with anyone in person. You nod to Moss and send him away, trying to keep your hands from shaking. Sand scrapes beneath your heels. The shade of the trees in the city garden provides barely any respite from the beating sun. There is no one here. Sir Philippe awaits you on the little bench at the far end of the garden path. The advisor is surrounded by a flock of birds. Muttering softly, Philippe feeds them tiny scraps of bread from a small loaf. You take a seat next to him. When Philippe finally speaks to you, you are surprised to hear sincere, friendly warmth in his voice. You know, noob, life has taught me an important lesson. When somebody does their job and does it well, that's worthy of respect. It's a shame that doesn't apply to you. You tamp down a rising panic. You cautiously ask Philippe what you've done to disappoint him. Mayor Egmont tried to spark an armed uprising right under your nose, you see. His men have been smuggling firearms into the city. He was hoping to arm his miners and send them off to demand justice. Were you aware of this, Brante? The friendly warmth in his voice is gone. No, you were not, you tell him, trying to keep your voice steady, not in the slightest. Philippe seems to believe you. He sneers at your reply. I know you weren't, but it's your job to be, Brante. You're the ringleader of every riot in the city, are you not? But you didn't catch this, Brante. Egmont would have slipped through our fingers if the gendarmes hadn't reacted in time, and then the twins alone know what he would have done. But now we own Egmont, head to toe, thanks to the twins. I interrogated him myself. When he realized that we were accusing him of, he didn't even try to hide it. He gave up all his men as soon as I pressed the issue. They've been smuggling guns here for several months now, all the way from across Illyria. They're stashed all across the city. Even Egmont doesn't know where they all are. It won't be easy for my agents to find them all. Even the crate of smugglers brought here last night disappeared. So you and the last straw need to keep an eye out for those guns. Got it? You avert your gaze and nod. Egmont will hang as soon as our revolt begins. Don't disappoint me again unless you want to swing next to him, Brante. You're only alive as long as you're useful. He stands up, throws the bread on the ground, and leaves. The birds in front of the bench tear into the loaf, ripping it to pieces as the sounds of Philippe's cane fade slowly into the distance. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you watch them. The advisor suspected nothing. But now you have even more questions than before. Mayor Egmont is a bold man, but smuggling guns into the city, that's too much even for him. Someone must have put the old man up to it, and that someone is almost certainly dangerous. You need to stay on your guard. You know, the commoners are farther away from power, but that's okay, we have guns! Stockpile of arms event has happened. Nice. We had the gunpowder, the scheming, and the guns. The industrialist was arrested by the secret chancellery. Only a matter of time. He's too public of a figure not to end up getting arrested. Deathbed. Deafening silence fills your home. You are standing by Mother's bedside. So are Father, Gloria, and Nathan. For an entire day, Mother has been feverish, barely conscious. Gloria never leaves her side, not even for a minute. Nathan has even stopped drinking so he can offer your sister his awkward help. Mother's health deteriorated greatly over the past year, and the fighting in the family home has dealt a great blow to her. She's been bedridden for months. You've been to every doctor and full healer, but no one can help her. They all tell you the same thing. Lady Lydia's life is in the hands of the twins now. If she passes away, she will not come back. And so you wait by Mother's bed in sorrow, hoping that she will regain consciousness. There is a long silence that no one has had the courage to break. Then at last you hear Nathan's meek voice. Mother, it's me, Nathan. Can you hear me? Mother suddenly rises onto her elbow. She looks around, her eyes unseeing, beads of sweat forming on her pale forehead. My son, where are you? Nathan takes Mother by her thin, emaciated hand. She leans closer to him, struggling to recognize his face. Stefan, were you playing with your younger brothers in the garden? You must be all dirty. Come here. You may not be my son, but I care for you as though you were my own. Oh, what a nice, happy family we have. A blessing to the twins. Nathan is unsure what to do or say. Father strokes his wife's hair. His eyes are two orbs of searing, indescribable pain. You're a little confused, Lydia. This is Nathan, and the children are all grown up now, remember? Mother's eyes were bright and alive just now, but the next moment they grow dim again. Her head falls weakly back onto the pillow. You're right, my husband. The children grew up, but I was never able to teach them how to live in peace with each other. I let you down, Robert. You made a mistake when you took me into your home. You saved my daughter and me from a life of poverty, and how did I repay you? Gloria cannot take it anymore. What are you saying, Mother? Don't you dare blame yourself. You did your best. You did all you could. Father looks away, unable to hold back the deluge of tears. Mother's voice, so faint now, calls out to you. Noob, where is he? Great Claire, you move closer to Mother. You answer her quietly. You're right here, right by her side. Noob, I'm so happy to know you're here. I always knew greatness awaited you ever since you were a little boy. What a shame I won't be there to see it. I couldn't save the Brante family. I will face my punishment at my final judgment. But don't worry, my dears. I am ready to stand before the twins. Lydia's voice trails off. No longer a voice, just a final whisper of life. Will you accept your mother's death, or will you find a way to fight for her life? We cannot unite the family, but we'll share our strength with our mother. You will not give up so easily. There is a reason you have fought tooth and nail to keep this family together for all these years. Resolving every dispute within the Brante home, you lean down to Mother's ear and begin to whisper. No, Mother has not failed anyone, and she has always given her all to this family. She taught you well and took good care of you. She has nothing whatsoever to blame for herself for. Your family is torn apart by quarrels, but you are still a family because of Mother. She has no right to abandon you in this dark hour. With great effort, Mother lifts her head slightly. She looks over her faces of her family huddled around her bed. Gloria with her arms folded on her chest in an unspoken prayer, Nathan pressing himself timidly against his sister, Stefan his head on Father's shoulder, his eyes full of sorrow. A faint humble glimmer of hope appears in Mother's eyes. We are still a family. You stroke Mother's hair gently. Yes, we are. We are all Brantes. We are a family, and as long as we remember that, we are one. We will weather any storm and overcome any strife. Times are changing, and the family must face those changes. But it was not Mother who taught us to face life with humility. Mother sits up in bed, the color returning to her pallid cheeks. Mother, you're not leaving us. Brother, your words are better than any medicine. Lydia. Noob is right. I simply cannot abandon you like this. The twins only know what you'll get up to without me around. The family laughs with relief. The days pass and Mother's condition continues to improve. The illness that once seemed intractable slowly releases her from its clutches. Moreover, the family squabbles have now stopped for her sake, at least for now. We're exhausted, but you know what? Mom is alive. We just had to let her know that she mattered. She had just given up. She can't give up. You can't just give up, Mom. We need you. The Gilded Cave. Gloria, betrothed. Stefan's efforts are about to bear fruit. All the arrangements have been taken care of. All the negotiations are done. Gloria shall marry Sir Jose El Pelletier. It was no easy task to arrange this match between a nobleman and a commoner whose father has rejected her. Every single member of El Pelletier's family did their best to change the young nobleman's mind, but he refused to relent. Stefan did his best too. He spent an eternity convincing the groom's family that Gloria has received an excellent education and will make Sir Jose a fine wife. And so the wedding day has come. The family prepares Gloria for a long journey. The wedding ceremony will be held at the church next to the El Pelletier estate. As tradition demands, no one else is allowed to attend the wedding. Gloria is completely silent today. She meekly allows a servant to change her into the coarse, humble garments her lot demands. She wear before the twins, all without saying a word. Gloria, say something, I beg of you. This marriage is the best thing for the Brante family can do for you. You're about to join a noble bloodline. Gloria stares back at Sir Robert, her mother's husband, who never became her father. There is a bit of sorrow in her gaze. I think it's more likely I'll be added to their family's opulent collection as another exhibit, but still, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Sir Robert. You've destroyed the last of my illusions. My face rests in the hands of my noble masters, as it always will. Father responds with a heavy sigh. At a loss for words, you prefer not to intervene. Gloria would rather not speak to you anyway. Just outside the door, you hear the neighing of horses in Stefan's excited voice. Gloria, your groom has arrived. The man who enters Gloria's chambers behind Stefan is Gloria's betrothed, Jose El Pelletier himself. His dignified bearing and his thin features of his wistful face betray his noble origins. An elegant earring glints in his ear, in concession to modern high fashion. El Pelletier greets the bride's family with a gallant bow and gently kisses the hem of Gloria's dress. The young noble of the sword takes great pains to remain composed, but standing so close to his future's wife, he cannot help but let his emotions show. Good sirs, I fell in love with Gloria the moment I laid eyes on her at that faithful party so long ago. If I may, I give you my word that she is going to a respected and prosperous home. And from what Sir Stefan has told me, your family standing will only benefit if Gloria becomes a member of another family. After all, I am a born nobleman with a hereditary title. No scandalous rumors or gossip regarding my wife's origins can ever harm me, and any man who dares to speak a word of slander against Gloria shall face a duel to the true death. Well said indeed, a most wonderful outcome for everyone involved. Gloria will want for nothing. I will keep her safe from all the world's troubles, free to write poetry, indulge in entertainment, and serve her husband. The enamored noble gazes at Gloria with a tender expression. She hides her eyes behind her unkempt hair. There is a hopeless look about her. Gloria, my love, it is time. Our journey calls the temple is ready for the ceremony. Very soon we shall announce the sacred intertwining of our destinies to the twins themselves, and then your new home and new life await. I will do as you say, Sir El Pelletier, but please allow me to say my goodbyes to the gentlemen who give me food and shelter. To Father, she gives a deep bow full of reverence. The family's patriarch remains silent, but tears run down his face. Then your sister embraces Nathan, who came home, gloomy and worse for wear even today. Sorry I drank all night, I couldn't stop. I just can't accept you won't be at home anymore. She ruffles her younger brother's hair and whispers something in his ear. His face brightens, if only a little, and then she bows to Stefan. A bow so impeccable it can only be interpreted as mockery. She walks past you scornfully, refusing to recognize your presence with even the slightest. We have such a 5 relationship rating with her. Why you hate me so much? Farewell, noob. I must admit, you did a fine job getting me out of the way. I hope it was worth it. I didn't do it for that reason. You remain silent. El Pelletier takes Gloria to his carriage. The driver flicks his whip and the horses take the bride and groom outside the city and to the church to face the twins in the austere ritual that waits them. Once wed, they will head straight for the groom's estate. Gloria has left the Brante home for good. With an expression of great relief, Stefan closes the door. He sits in an armchair by the window, his hand cradling a glass of wine. At last, we've done a great deed, my brother. We've arranged for the best possible life for Gloria and removed the last obstacle standing between us and the nobility of the sword. Now there is nothing preventing me from putting our family affairs in order. This is my duty as heir. And most importantly, we need to put all ties to Gloria behind us. She's gone from the Brante home for good, thank the twins and their mercy. What say you, noob? You won't stand in my way, will you? Surely you won't deny that our family's affairs are my responsibility. I don't want to sever all ties with Gloria. I can't do that. I can't sever all ties with Gloria, no way. That's not why I did this. Slowly you rise from your seat and shake your head at Stefan's words. Your other brother glares at you in confusion. You assail Stefan's confidence with a long, fervent speech. Gloria lived in this home for so many years. She grew up with you and shared your joys and sorrows. She's your mother's daughter. Cutting all ties with her would be cowardly and bring disgrace to your name. Gloria may be the child of a lowly birth who does not belong to your blood tie, but family ties go beyond mere blood and social standing. How could you even think of erasing her from your memory as though she never existed? Gloria used to be a permanent fixture in this home, that I cannot deny, but that time is past. It is blood that unites a family. There is no blood, there is nothing to talk about. You fold your arms on your chest before offering a retort. No, you aided Stefan and got Gloria to agree to the wedding. You also had a say in your sister's future, and now you must have a say in your family's treatment of her. You say that the family will remain in touch with Gloria. Stefan needn't fear any harm or dishonor from that. She belongs to another bloodline now. The Brantes are safe from scandal. So be it. We'll stay in touch with Gloria. You're right, she's no threat to us anymore. Now take your glass, Noob, a toast to the future of the Brante family. You clink glasses, a note and a hint of bitterness in the flavor of the mulled wine. Anyway, it's time to get down to business. I'll head to the overseas residence at once. We are so close to earning our hereditary title, brother. Grandfather would be so proud of us. With that, Stefan leaves you alone. Father has locked himself in his office to brood. Nathan has wandered off somewhere to get drunk. You roam the family home that feels emptier now, lost in memory. Do you remember Gloria leading you by the hand through the yard, showing you the shining pillar for the very first time? You remember playing together. You remember the time you and Stefan went looking for the Amazot ruins. You remember the quill and paper that were your sister's constant companions. The family remains in touch with the El Pelletiers and does its best to stay up to date on Gloria's married life. However, your sister rarely, if ever, leaves her husband's opulent estate. Her letters grow shorter and shorter. She writes about how her husband adores her and makes all her wishes come true, but she has fewer and fewer wishes every day. You beg Gloria to write poems for you, but she curtly responds that her inspiration is gone. Every day is too much like the last. The only thing that seems to bring her back to life is the odd visit from your family, but you must inevitably leave, and then Gloria goes back to spending days at a time in bed. Ah, Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. Gloria got married. Gloria had become the wife of the noble Sir El Pelletier and left for his estate. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode of The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you've got anything to say, go to the comments below. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscription button and the bell. It helps me out a ton. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.